The next vehicle build and giveaway starts right now. We've done Buicks, Chevrolets, Mopars. It's time to do a Ford. Now, some of you probably recognize the 78 F100. Guy found it just rotting away on a hillside in Tennessee here. Hadn't run in many years. Got it fired up, started going through it, put it back on the road, cleaned it up a little bit, and then the project kind of fizzled out, and I'll explain why here in a little bit. Now, over the last handful of years, the most common question undoubtedly is, when are you going to do a restoration? Something more than just throwing some lipstick on it and making it go in a town rig. Something bumper to bumper. Well, we're gonna do it, and I've decided to do it to this F100 right here. But don't worry, I'm not talking Pebble Beach restoration. I wanna do something more on a budget that the average folks can relate to. Do the best we can without just really hurting the billfold back here. I'm not talking just spray cans and stickers. We're gonna pull the engine. I'm gonna rebuild it. We're gonna put a clutch, make sure the transmission's sound, the driveline and chassis is good, tires and wheels, exhaust. We're even gonna go in the interior here and put a full interior. I'm talking the works with a little bit of updating. And then the paint, I think I'm gonna call a favor on my buddy Kevin Tetz. Have him help us do the best we can, get the biggest bang for our buck, and do a really slick paint job on this. Might even get to spray this in his paint booth. And when we're done, this is gonna be a beautiful, period correct, original restoration 78 Ford F100 that one of you could potentially win, and $5,000 cash along with it. All you gotta do for your chance to enter is go to vicescriptgarage.com. Pick up any merchandise you want. We have a ton of new t-shirts, updated designs and logos. We got some new sunglasses and all sorts of stuff up there. And every $5 you spend gets you one entry for a chance to win the truck and that $5,000 cash. Now, we've got a lot to do. We're gonna start with a walk around. So let's jump in. So we'll talk engines a little bit more when we get the hood popped open, but circling back around, that's the reason a guy parked this up. I was putting some miles down on this thing, but it started losing power. I mean, it was barely pulling hills, and then it started showing, you know, the typical signs of just being worn out and needing a rebuild. This has severe blow-by. I'll show you if we can get it fired up again. So that leads me to believe we're just gonna yank this thing out and completely rebuild it, but we'll pin that up for now. Boop. I think what we're gonna do, because some of you may not be familiar with this, some of you might have forgotten about it, let's go ahead and just take a tour around this, see what we're in for, kind of lay the plan out, and then we gotta jump in. It's already very late tonight, and I've gotta get this engine out and to the machine shop for some basic stuff right away. So let's take a closer look at this truck. I like this body style of this kind of year Ford. We had one out on the farm for years, a red and white one. And they're good old work trucks. You know, this one's got a 300 with a manual, but it's pretty straight. Take note at the body here. It's got surface rust and stuff. We did polish this out, but it's been sitting outside for a long time. You can see under the trees there. And it'll clean up, but the main thing is, look how rust-free this truck is. That's going to significantly help us laying some paint down on this thing. Cab corners are beautiful on the box. We'll take a look, but I seem to remember this being a pretty low mileage truck. Even the roof isn't beat in or anything like that. It hasn't had weird excessive loads in it or nothing. Front of the box isn't bowed out. Got a little bit of dent wear in here. I mean, it's hauled and done some stuff over the years, but nothing terrible. The worst of it is probably this clobber right here. We'll have to figure out what to do with that. We can't get to it from the inside. Tailgate's in pretty good shape. Actually, really beautiful. This side is a lot of the same thing. No rot, no rust. Worst of the paint, of course, is the hood and the roof. After we polished it out, she started spitting some rust through. You could see how thin the paint got. There's about nothing left of the original paint on this thing. Front end's really straight, grill's nice. It's gonna need some glass. We'll have to put some wind screens in her, keep the bugs out of our teeth, you know what I mean. And then on the inside here, I already started collecting parts. So we'll plan on putting some digital gauges in it. We got some carpet, we got a bezel. I mean, I wanna put a dash pad, wheel. We're gonna reupholster the seat ourselves. We're gonna put some carpet in. We're gonna do door panels. We're gonna make this really nice. Pedal covers, I mean, you name it. We'll really sharpen this thing up. Interior is probably the worst thing about this truck, quite honestly. And it's not terrible if you're gonna be using the thing. So that brings us to the engine. Let's pop the hood and take a look. Yeah, we'll pop the power barn here. So we have the legendary 300. Okay, make note of that. Full of dirt daubers. We put a fuel pump, some ignition stuff, radiator, fans, belts, heater hoses, fuel make it happener, brakes. None of that's gonna go to waste. My plan is to keep the 300. And I know some of you just went, you need to V8 swap it. Well, that's a lot of work for 2 cubic inches. And then the balance of you just went, well, 351, duh. Well, it's a lot of work to gain 38 horsepower. The 300 is legendary, it's reliable, it's a stump puller, there's nothing wrong with this thing. It just needs to be rebuilt. So I think we're gonna yank this thing out, actually build it right here, we'll find some cheap kit, but I do wanna get the block and the head to a machine shop to have it tanked, clean, fluxed, make sure there's no cracks or warps. Might even deck it just a tiny bit to make sure our new head gasket gets a good seal on it. And we'll take a look at the valves. If we don't have to do a valve job, we'll save the money. But if we need to, we'll go ahead and do that. And then once we get those 2 big components back, we'll just build it up here ourselves. And that's where we're gonna start tonight. I think Bentley's gonna help me. And we're just gonna start taking off all the accessories and stuff like that and get this engine out. But first, let me show you this blow-by I'm talking about. I'm gonna take the oil cap off here. We'll fire this up. You'll see what I'm seeing. Come on now. Well, bring in the thunder. There. Yeah. Not supposed to look like a locomotive. So as you can see, straight compression coming out of here. And I tried to single it down to a particular one by pulling plug wires, but it doesn't seem to affect it too much. So I don't know if we've got a cracked piston or a hole in a piston or chipped rings or just completely worn out rings, but it's down on compression and obvious blow by here. So we'll get it rebuilt, get this thing running really good. So before we fill the shop with oil smoke, I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull this out and back it in on the lift over there so we can get the drive shaft out, transmission cross member. It's got a shifter on the floor, and just start thrashing on this thing. I got to have this in my truck and delivered tomorrow to the machine shop. So the usual last second thrash. Yes. So you probably saw and heard the clutch chatter there. she's left the building as well. We'll fix that up. Whew, smoky. This is going to be a lot of fun and interesting because out of all of the engines I've built over the years, starting as a grasshopper on up, I have never built a 300. True stories. So this is going to be really cool, actually. I thought about doing an intake and 4-barrel and headers and hopping it up and all this and that, but I also think it would be neat just to have something that's pretty near darn original. You know what I mean, when we're done with it. And these, again, are good running little engines. So I wonder if we can get the hood off. Might have to borrow Bradley for that, because that's going to be on our way. You could probably also see we haven't picked up our mess from our last explosion project we had in here. So that's fine. Going to take a marker and just trace lightly the position of the hood hinge here. We just need a vertical and a horizontal. So when we set this bad boy back on, it's going to be lined up nicely. There we go. .48 miles long. Bentley, come over here, bud. Hold this right here so the hood doesn't come down. Good job. Okay. Now I'll go to Bradley's side and help him, please.
I got so much like dirt stuff going down my hood.
All right, let's go off the front. Hold it flat. Okay. Dirt daubers everywhere.
Yeah.
There! We got some light on the situation. Thanks, buddy. So I think we're going to start by draining the radiator here and getting this bad boy out, getting the hoses off, and then we can move on to things like the throttle cable, some of the wiring, the heater hoses, the wiring to the charging whirler. This is for the switch for the fans, little stuff like that, fuel line. And then we'll start focusing in after that, getting the truck up, getting all the big parts off, like cross member drive shaft, motor mount bolts, all of that. Let that drain out for a few minutes. Well, a guy and the youngest human I'm responsible for got this pretty stripped down. That was fairly easy. Bentley just sat up in there and said, "Dad, 9/16, Dad, half inch." I just handed him tools. He did a majority of the hard stuff. Remember when we could climb in these things and sit? It's nothing better than a square body Chevrolet or these old Ford trucks. There's tons of room in these things. But anyway, we got the fuel making happener stripped. All the wires on this side. Went ahead and pulled the radiator out. Over there we've got the lightning whirler unplugged, all the lightning hoses off. It's pretty much loose. I even, to my error, removed the engine mount bolts the easy way instead of reaching underneath to get the stud. It'll come out just fine. We just got to do it a different way going back in. So I think we're ready to lift this truck up. First, I'm going to go down and check on Bradley. He's helping me out on the other side of the barn here. Then we'll get this in the air and start on, well, probably drive shaft, start working our way forward. We should be able to get this thing on the floor yet late tonight. I'm excited to get the head off and determine what in the world is going on. Hopefully it's not damaged beyond repair. Somebody got to figure something else out. Also, I get the best thinking done when I'm wrenching. You know what I mean? I'm sitting here now thinking maybe putting the 1 barrel back on it isn't the move. What if we did do like a Clifford intake and a 4 barrel, but maybe we put a sniper on it? I don't know where the truck's going to go, you know, where the winter lives. So if they live in cold temperatures, maybe they don't want to deal with the Michael Jackson. You know, I don't know. So you guys bleep bloop in the comments. Keep it 1 barrel, intake swap it, just put a 4 barrel carburetor, put a sniper on it. Maybe we put a 1-barrel sniper on it. We keep the original intake. I don't know. There's options all over the place. All right, let's go see what Brad's doing. Took a break, come over and check on Bradley. He's shine juicing Longmire for me. And I wanted to check. He said he wanted to do the bed. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That looks great. He's shine juicing the wood in here as well. Thanks, buddy. You stay out of there, Caprice. He just did Vanish and Paint for me, too. Those 2 rigs are going to go to a show here in a couple days. This will dry to a matte satin finish. Bentley showed back up for a second. He's making an engine on his 3D printer that he got for his birthday. And it's pretty incredible. It's this tiny little printing machine, no bigger than a dinner plate, and he's making pistons and rods and all sorts of stuff. So you finish sanding that, you'll come back and help?
Yep.
All right, Bradley said he's going to come over and help in a minute too, when he's done with Longmire. You should go see the wood bed in Longmire. Looks awesome. So now that I'm under here, I don't know that we've ever got this up on the lift before, honestly. We got this thing, the California verter. That can come out. Probably don't need that. I don't think this thing's going to pass emissions anyway. Got a jip on here, but no tip. We can fix that. We got a nice rear end in this thing. The U-joints look pretty solid. The frame looks good. It's got surface rust. But I'll show you, the body on this thing is, it's mind-blowing. Always, 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 this is rotted in Ford trucks and Chevys. All the dirt and mud and stuff catches back in here and just eats all of this away. Not the case. Look at the floor pans. Absolutely beautiful. Back of the cab, this is always rotted. Looks great. Both sides. What a solid old rig. I forgot to look at the mileage. Don't let me forget. But we could put shocks in this fuel tank. We got to spiff up the fuel lines. We could service the rear end, check the brakes out. There's a lot of stuff that we can upgrade over time. It's got this universal shifter in here. That's pretty neat. We're going to get this off so we could just slide everything out at once. Looks like a big bolt here, big bolt there. And that'll get that out of the way, but first let's get this drive shaft down. For the 3 of you that are curious, the rear end gear is, yes. It's, I don't know what it is, but it's definitely highway. She's got some long legs. This would be an awesome truck to take down the highway or get to town with for sure. Can you put one of these wheel chocks in the front, Brad? Huh? The wheel chock? Thank you. I got so much torque, I run this thing right through the next county, you know. I can't believe these U-joints are still solid. Okay, we gotta think what to do with exhaust. I put a really quiet muffler on that step-side long box Chevrolet, and I must be getting old because I really enjoy it. But I ain't saying something chambered or something else, a Magnaflow or Borla might not sound good on here. It's a different sounding engine because you got 300 cubic inches, but you know, straight 6. So we got to keep that in mind. Oh wait. Some of you are yelling, Derek, the tag's right there. I gotta decode it. No idea what's happening. Marvin 75, Arva 4, 7KD, FLX is B5. Is what that says. Brad, do you want to do this? And then I'll see if I can decode the rear gear. There you go. Do you want to get some safety glasses?
Yeah,
So rust doesn't fall in your eye bones. Thanks, dude. Zzzt. I don't know. problem is Ford went from A's to B's to H's to just numbers.
You need to save these bolts.
Yes, we do, please.
Alright, I'm going to set them on this thing.
Here's one too, so we can keep them together. I got none of this. Makes sense. I have no idea. None of these numbers match. So I can't tell you, folks. Sorry. Okay, this helps. I got a photograph. You gotta go by the pictures. We got a 275 rear end gear. That makes sense, because even when you're in first gear, you gotta kind of like slip it a little bit, get some momentum, and then you can let her out. And then this thing just wants to run down the highway and let all them horses out the hood. You know what I'm saying, Bradley?
Yeah.
Good. Don't forget your washers.
Yeah, I forgot those existed.
Yeah. One didn't have a washer?
Mm-mm.
So then that tells us what?
I don't know.
It's how did you join before? Because someone took this apart and then dropped a washer in the grass and went, never see that again, and then put it together. Okay, now you're going to pry it in here. Get ready for this to drop on your face, okay? Okay. There you go. Grab this. Grab that. Okay, now run and grab some painter's tape and we'll tape up this U-joint. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's nice and solid. It's got a little play, but nothing that excites me. Ain't writing home about it. Could give her a wrap. Whoa. Come on now, wrap it up. Not so much, it's expensive. Brad. Thank you. Okay, now put the washers and nuts back on there so we don't lose them.
Why do we only have 2 washers?
Well, then you dropped one or something. We'll put a new one on. Just make sure you get the nuts because they're fine thread. Thanks, buddy. So right now, Brad and Bentley are removing the shifter. It's one of those universal jobbers. I've fought with one of these actually on another Ford 3-speed. They're not so universally-ish, especially if you have an overdrive unit and that big canister coming out of the side. But anyway, we're dropping this shifter off. It has 3 bolts that goes in the back tail shaft, and then Brad's taking out the bolts that go to the shifter right now. So that whole assembly should slide out. So then when we get this cost member dealt with, we should be able to slide this off. Bentley got the pole jack in here so we can get that cross member loosened up, and we are getting pretty close to figuring out some sort of plan to lift this out. No, we'll just forklift it, bend everything. Okay. Looking good? Taking the clutch lever off. Is it easier from this side of the shaft?
I think so. Seems to be fine.
And rather than back the ball out of the block, we're going to try to do it this way. Hang on tight and then nice and slow. You got a jobble walkie on there. It's going to be tough. Yeah, the more straight you can get on that U-joint, the better. That's a tough one. There. Nice. It's free from the engine?
Yes, from the engine.
Yeah, I can hang there. There should be a linkage hook to it, so yeah. All right, good job. We pulled the sparkulators out, just look at them. What do you think they say?
Rich.
Very rich. But I was looking to see, since we got, we're pushing a lot of oil, one of them should be, well, you would think one would be way worse than the other. This one's has a lot of evidence of oil, but I think overall they're fairly even. I don't know that we're going to see anything detrimental in just one. It just says, I'm tired, pretty much. Okay, we got to find a chain. I think we're to the point, boys. We can get ready to pull this thing out, find some anchor points, maybe down here or something. Sling it across. We'll get the forklift out here and try to pull this thing out. How's that sound? How to jump start this thing again. Found a 97-foot rusty chain. We're going to put a pin in the hitch, and I think we're going to just wrap it around the manifold and then go over here to the head. We want to kind of lift it more towards the back.
We have another wire back here.
Temperature probably. Should pull right off.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this side.
And then if we pull towards the back, we should be able to pluck both at once. Find it? Is it one like this? Ford makes these rinky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
Good find. That's that whole harness. Good. Okay, stay there. I'm going to hand you the chain and you can wrap it around that. No, slide it, the link sideways into the hook.
This?
Turn the link sideways. The whole link slides in. Like that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the proper way. Well, this ought to get interesting. Okay, plan is, guys, I don't have one. Okay, so I'm going to slide this in, this chain part, the center of it, line up over this hole, drop that pin in. Will this pin fit through that chain?
Like through
Yeah.
the link or just?
Yeah, through the link, so it locks it to the fork. Hip. I can't see, so you gotta let me know. This feels kind of. Whoa, that was wrong.
Alright, stop.
Okay,
Alright.
it's in.
Alright, pins in.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, now let's get that jack going. Oh boy, that ain't gonna reach. Where's our big pry bar? The long one. What are you doing, Caprice? Yeah. Belly, you want to open the garage door, please? We have a block of wood or something? I mean, just don't look at it. It's fine. You have to get that bracket over the cross member. Now we can lift and pull. All right, watch for anything that's bending that we can't break. Yeah, we're obviously stuck in something.
It's an exhaust pipe. This starter, whatever, it's up on over it. This thing down here, when it pulls it, it's it.
Okay.
Sawzall.
All right, you want to jump in? Sawzall is under the cart. Is there anything else? Because it seemed really stuck in there. Oh, see, the motor's got to be pushed over. It's catching the mount.
This way?
Yeah. All right, we got to rethink this. I don't think it's going to come out with those mounts like that.
Yeah, this thing. The block is on this
Yep.
chunky thing.
Let me back this out of the way. Go ahead and start cutting that. We're going to need that anyway. I'll get this out of the way and we'll rethink. I think we missed a step. Step called caring. Got it. So my previous error has compounded when I took the bolts out the side. Bentley's doing it the correct way. This bracket here is shaped like this, And when you try to lift the block, it hooks onto the flange where the oil pan is. Got it! So, we're taking these. Yeah, let's pretend it didn't happen. So we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. And then I crawled under and cut the exhaust off. Look at that old Motorcraft starter. And then we should be good to retry, and boop! This side is stripped, so, you know, set it and forget it. Okay, take two. Now that we got the one loosened up, we were able to slide it. Okay, get clear. There we go. That's more so what we wanted.
Oh, back, like, top forward. You're hitting.
Might have to rock the truck because I'm kind of everything. All right, let's take a look. All right, so we're caught on the tail shaft and we're dumping oil on the ground, so that seems pretty good. So you're gonna have to help push that down. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it gets past the lift to the lip of the firewall. Can you kick it? There, I think I got it. Back up a little.
Oh, truck's going. You want to put it in gear? I've got it. Wait. Hold on. Alright, good.
Watch your hands, buddy.
We're done.
Am I stuck on the lip?
Yeah, you gotta gear up. Look at this.
Well, let's just, you kick it.
There it goes.
All right. Dump oil on the cowl. Hey, it's out! Good job. Air high five, don't come under. Victorious. We got it out. So, we're gonna find a pallet, move this bay over, and set this down on a pallet, and we could separate the transmission from the engine. Now we could dig into this just a little bit tonight, see what we got going on. Spilled a little bit of oil down there. Whoops. Caprice is inspecting already. So with it over here, we can split the transmission off. We'll pull the gearbox first, and then the bell housing. Trying not to scratch my floor, and you can see how good that's going over the past couple of years. But so we'll split these two apart, and then we'll probably go ahead and get it up on this pallet, and then we'll take the head off. Should we take the head off this thing? See what we got? Yeah. And see what the cylinder walls look like, see what the pistons look like, look at the valve train a little bit. We'll get an idea of what we're in for. Okay, go grab the impact. Yeah, actually just slide the tool bin over here and we'll get to work. Flywheel is not looking good. We've got metal to metal contact here. You can see hot spots and heat, tons of clutch material in here. This is the pilot bearing you were talking about. And then the clutch disc itself, smoked. You can see metal on metal contact. Normally there's big grooves in here when the clutch discs have a lot of life left. This thing is just toast. And one of the, here, this one, it's like a broken spring as well. Here we go. That's all that chattering.
This one's loose too.
Yeah.
These ones are all good though.
So we'll go ahead and fix all this as well. The gearbox is fine. Gearbox is shifting okay. We're gonna get all of this off of this pallet, stack it up somewhere, set the engine on the pallet, and then we'll bust this head off. Bradley, you're doing a good job, man. It's like it never happened. I gotta keep you around more, man. Okay, let's land this eagle. That oil pan's flat enough, it might try to sit. Unsure. Hey, this must charge, it fired right up. Watch your rosy posies and your piggly wigglies. Seem kind of uneven.
Yep, good.
Is it rocky? Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
I mean, like, it'll stay up, but...
I wonder if we could find a chunk of...
Well, what about the chunks that would be for that? Oh, that's smart. Boom. But now we just gotta worry about the other side.
Well, we're going to take that manifold off, though, in a
Let's put
second.
something right here.
On the oil filter.
Something like a pipe. Or, yeah. Oh, I got enough.
We have a shorter chunk. Oh, here's the one you were... Bentley's practicing welding. These are his welds. Oh, I forgot you made a B. Or was that me? I can't remember.
That was you. Oh, I love to do on this one.
Oh, yeah. See, that works pretty good. If we just keep it...
Oh,
Whoa, whoa. There's not wood right there.
yeah. There's wood right there. No. Wait, this one came out too. Alright, you can take it over. Wait.
Well, don't put it on that again because we got to take it off. Remember?
Alternate?
It'll stay. We'll just got to be careful. Okay, I'll let you guys tear into this. I'd start by the intake and exhaust manifold. You know, you want to boil and make your air super hot before you pull it in the engine. That's why they put it on top of the exhaust manifold. Hot air equals power. Nope. The boys are just getting after it. I'm kind of just walking around. I found an exhaust tip I was looking for, a pair of shocks. I don't know. They got it, I guess. Ooh, sludgy.
Very sludgy.
All right, 5/8 socket. Pulling our push rods out right now, jamming them into this cardboard box, which is labeled. Just got done explaining to the boys the importance of putting push rods and lifters back in the same exact spot we pulled them from. If we're going to reuse the cam, but we don't know if we're going to reuse this camshaft yet. We have no idea what the shape of it is. It seems like it's okay. And then I'm going to show the boys here quick the valves. Hold on, buddy.
I'm just seeing if it's the right size.
If we have any bent valves or stuck valves or anything like that. What's that instrument you guys play in school? The little metal keys and you go ting, 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 ting. Is it a xylophone?
I think so. Something like that.
Yeah, so this is like that. If it's bent or stuck, you're going to hear a thud like this. But if it opens, you're going to hear a snap like that, and that's that valve opening and snapping against the seat. So give them a run. Yep.
Sound good.
The harmonic changes a little bit, end of the block towards the middle, but yeah, those are all opening. I don't think we have any issues with valves. Man, is this in a dirty engine though. But let's go ahead and move forward and we'll get the head off of this thing. So this is really the point I'm looking forward to, is pulling the head off. That's usually on any engine. You could tell what kind of water you're in. Is it hot? Ooh. Is it medium? You know, or maybe cold. I'm not sure, but if we get this off, we can roll the head over, take a look at the valves. They seem to be operating okay. It seemed to run pretty smooth. It just smoked. I'm hoping it's just worn rings. We could throw bearings in this thing, dangle ball it, and clean the block up and throw it back together. But we'll be able to tell really easily by looking at the cylinder walls and the shape of the pistons. I do expect highly sludged and fouled looking pistons, a lot of black gunk and stuff on top of the pistons just by reading the plugs. Would be willing to bet an Alan Jackson cassette tape the pistons will be blacker than night. Let me hold one of those. I just want to see if they're all the same length.
They should.
Yeah. Just kind of taking some notes, boys. I've never rebuilt one of these, so every now and then you got a gander on it, you know. So see these little wings hanging off?
So it would be this one up here?
Yeah, give that a crack. You got the pry bar? That's for building houses, but
I don't know if it's
is there one with the red handle like the?
I'll look.
I mean, I'll use it. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I don't know if you're doing much yet, Scooby.
Yeah, I don't think I'm doing anything. Rather, you might have to get this move. Oh no, there's going.
Okay, we're gonna take it off, and then we're gonna set it right here, okay? There we go. Well, they're all still there.
Wait, so why? See how those have like circles in them? Like second ones? See that?
Hmm?
Like burnt in them?
Valves.
Why does this one not have it? And that one.
Good question.
Pretty strange. Oh, where are you looking?
I
See
like
those
that you're
circles?
inquisitive.
These things? No, these.
Oh yeah,
These ones, but those ones don't have it?
She needs a good dingle ball, that's for sure. I think we just need rings, boys.
Yeah, looks like it.
See these notches?
Yeah.
See that notch?
Yeah.
Every piston has these. Almost every engine on the planet. That notch or a dot or a triangle or whatever means the piston faces this way, forward of the engine. Cool. Let's see what the valves look like. And then we got to get these guys in here. They're standing around over here. Well, fellers and fellettes, here's what we got. It's actually really good news. So these are all fouled up, varnished like I figured they would be. But look at the cylinder walls. We have some scarring, some typical vertical scoring, but my nail doesn't catch it. It's not bad at all. I think it's just tired. Valves all look good. Again, same thing, just burning oil. 1 and 4 were really working overtime burning oil. I'll tell you that much. I also don't see any indication that this has been bored over. I think this is 1,000,000% stock. Otherwise there'd be a 30 or a 10, 20, 30, 40, 8 million stamped into these. Not the case. So this is a very good rebuilder. Gonna throw some straps around this. We'll clean up a little bit. I'm gonna fork this on into the truck and drop it off at the machine shop. And again, we'll have them clean the block, Magnaflex it, go through the heads. I might even have them just line hone this, make sure it's true and straight, dingle ball it for me, and then all we got to do is just reassemble it, put it back together. I put a new water pump on it, forgot about that. It'll need a new timing cover. Original sticker on here still. That's really cool. But you boys did a good job.
Thank you.
Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Good. Well, I think that's going to do it for part one of abandoned to restored engine removal, disassembly, and analysis. I think we've got a really solid builder here, and I'm really excited to build this 300 and put it back in. I don't know, I think that's the way to go personally. Again, if you want to get your name in the hat early on to win this rig, just go to vicegripgarage.com. Every $5 you spend in merchandise gives you one entry towards a chance to win the truck and $5,000 cash. That's now through March 15th. So we don't have a ton of time here, but this is going to be a beautiful truck when we're done. So I'll get this forked into the pickup. We'll be back soon with more updates. We got to build this thing, get it back in the truck. Then we'll start working on interior and paint and everything else. Thanks, guys, for the support. Appreciate you all so very much. Couldn't do any of this without you guys. And we'll see you very, very soon. They done left me. I guess I'm on cleanup duty. Great. I'm bad at it.